Thank you. Another episode of Your Week. Is that a band? We have a live band in here now? The budget just gets bigger and bigger. Thank you for joining me again for Your Week with James Skrmetta. Of course, I am James Skrmetta, delivering to you everything you need to know from Wednesday to Wednesday of what happened in your week. Officials in Colorado have now accidentally made it legal to text and drive. A fine for texting while driving went up from $50 to $300, but in order for it to be illegal, the texting has to be done in a, quote, imprudent or careless manner. Residents are pretty worried because before, any texting was illegal, but now it has to be proven to be careless, which they think is going to be very difficult to prosecute. Officials believe that the higher fines will deter teenagers from texting, and they hope to completely eliminate the threat of texting while driving in the next 5 years. What are they, high out there? The new world record for the longest sniper shot has been achieved surprisingly by a Canadian sniper. I didn't even realize Canada had a military, but I guess they do. The shot was almost 2.5 miles long, and the sniper killed an ISIS fighter as he was sitting on top of a building. The record shot was achieved last month in Iraq by an unnamed member of the Canadian Special Forces. Now, I get it. It's never good to get your brains blown out, so I feel bad for that guy. But think about the Canadian sniper. I mean, he had to walk almost 2.5 miles to apologize to the guy. Minnesota drivers have noticed something a little different on their highways. This thing, it's called a road zipper. What it does is it expands and contracts lanes throughout the day. It can move up to 10 miles of lanes in just an hour. The whole idea of the road zipper is to be able to change lanes depending on the demands of the traffic. Now, there's no reason to be worried the road zipper is completely safe for normal vehicles, unless, of course, you drive one of these. Authorities in Maryland have charged a 7-year-old boy with destruction of property after he climbed a roof and peed on his neighbor's steaks as they were sitting on the grill. The investigation alleges that the 7-year-old boy climbed onto the roof of his house unbeknownst to his parents, waited for the neighbor to go inside, and then peed on his steaks as they were sitting on the grill. The boy faces 1 count of malicious mischief and a $1,000 fine. Police investigators have released this sketch of the perpetrator. Good news and bad news regarding Brendan Dassey, famous for being part of the Making a Murderer documentary on Netflix. Good news that Dassey's conviction of murder has been overturned because of plenty of holes in the interrogation process back when he was just 16 years old. This is fantastic news for Brendan Dassey. The judge has ordered him to either be retried or freed. This is terrible news for women living in Illinois. Maine has confirmed its first case of measles in nearly 20 years. The Maine Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed a single case of measles in Franklin County. You know, I swear, these scientists, you'd think by now they could come up with something to stop these kind of things. Bill Cosby, after a controversial mistrial, is a free man, and what's he doing with his time? He is going around the country to teach seminars on sex ed. More specifically, he's teaching men and women how not to get accused of sexual assault. I mean, yeah, this is a really bad idea for Bill Cosby, but it's an even worse idea for the people taking the course. Think about it. Why would you want to take a course on how not to get accused of sexual assault by a man who was just accused of sexual assault by more than 50 women? They really should package this as one big seminar. You can have Bill Cosby teaching you how not to get accused of sexual assault. You have Octomom teaching you how not to become pregnant. And then you have Magic Johnson giving you his tips and techniques for practicing safe sex. A Russian religious leader is making the wrong kind of waves after he came out and announced that anyone that shaves their beard will become gay. The man's name is Metropolitan Cornely, which I'm guessing is a family name, and he said that God created every single man with a beard, and whoever decides to shave his beard will eventually engage in same-sex activities. Now this doesn't matter. Wait a minute. Hey, Dad. Yeah. No, I'm good. Are you sitting down? I've got some really bad news.